Te propongo un trato. If you like this episode of English with Dane, share it with a friend who you think would also like it. That's all. And in return, I promise to keep working tirelessly to make this show as useful and as entertaining as it can be for you. Simple as that. Hey, what's up? It's Dane. And today we are leveling up our vocabulary game, and we're doing it with one of my favorite sections in the history of English with Dane. Strange news. You're going to learn a bunch of new words by reading some bizarre news stories from around the world. So open your notes app on your phone or open your notebook because you're going to want to write some of these down. I'm not expecting you to learn every word, by the way, but there for sure will be a few that you didn't know and that might be useful for you. Puede que te vengan bien. That might be useful. So let's get into it. You are listening to episode 6 of season 2 of English with Dane. Hit it. All right, you heard the music, so you know we have officially started the show. Let's read our first headline. By the way, I'll link each story in the description so you can read with me or read up on it more if you're interested, because we're not going to read each article in its completion. I'm going to cherry pick the best parts. Uf, gran verbo, cherry pick. Bueno, hoy no hay vocabulary section porque todo es un vocabulary check, así que te lo explico. To cherry pick means to select only the best, most desirable, or most convenient items from a group. The term comes from the literal act of picking cherries, cerezas, which are delicate fruits. So when you pick cherries, you usually go for the ripest, the juiciest, and the best looking ones, and leave others behind. So I'm cherry picking the parts of each article that have the best words to focus on. Okay, let's get into it. The first headline reads, American tourist arrested after trying to film isolated tribe and offer Diet Coke. Again, American tourist arrested after trying to film isolated tribe and offer Diet Coke. Real quick, remember that when reading news articles, it's common for verbs to be left out, los dejamos fuera, in order to make headlines more concise and to save on words. This is called headlineese. We take the word headline and add the suffix, el sufijo, the suffix "ese" that we often use for languages like Japanese, Portuguese, etc. So it's a format in which the language changes due to convention. It's not just verbs though, it's small words that don't serve a vital purpose. So instead of saying, the government has approved a new tax plan, you might get something like, government approves new tax plan, or even more condensed, tax plan approved. That one uses the passive voice, of course. You'll also find this in legal language that we call legalese, that style of legal writing we see in contracts and courtrooms. So yeah, headlineese. Bear that in mind. Okay, let's read the story. Sorry, que me enrollo. A 24-year-old YouTuber went to a far-flung island in hopes of filming an encounter with the Sentinelese, the Indian authorities said. It is illegal to make contact with the tribe. An American tourist set off alone last week on an inflatable boat to the remote island of North Sentinel in the Indian Ocean. He had packed a Diet Coke and a coconut as an offering for the highly isolated tribe that lives there, and had brought along a GoPro camera in hopes of filming the encounter, the Indian police said. Guided by his GPS navigation, the man, age 24, reached the northeastern shore of the island at 10 a.m. on March 29th, according to the police. He scanned the land with binoculars, prismáticos, binoculars, but saw no one. So he climbed ashore, left the Diet Coke and the coconut there, took sand samples, and recorded a video, the police said. Okay, so right there, we already have 3 things that are interesting to me. Far-flung is the first one, a compound adjective. You know I love me some compound adjectives. Far-flung, far as in lejos, and flung as the past participle of the verb to fling, which means to throw, lanzar, to throw forcefully, con fuerza. So far-flung, con guión entre las dos palabras. Far-flung means distant or remote, the far-flung island. The other one was in that same sentence, in hopes of, con la esperanza de, in hopes of. We also had the verb to set off, right? An American tourist set off alone last week on an inflatable boat for the remote island of North Sentinel in the Indian Ocean. To set off which is a phrasal verb, means to begin a journey. Zarpar is what we would use in Spanish. I feel like it's mostly used for ship and boat-related journeys, but you can get creative with it. Let's continue. Mr. Polyakov was arrested on March 31st when he returned to Port Blair, the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, an archipelago more than 800 miles east of India's mainland, the authorities said. Ojo, archipiélago is archipelago. Few outsiders have been to the island of North Sentinel, which is a territory of India and is illegal to visit. Indian government regulations prohibit any outsider interaction with its isolated tribe, whose members hunt with bow and arrow and have killed intruders for stepping onto their shore. In 2018, an American missionary, John Allen Chau, set off for the island with a Bible. He was shot with bows and arrows by tribesmen when he got on shore, the Indian authorities later said. Fishermen who helped take Mr. Chau to North Sentinel told the police that they had seen tribesmen dragging his body on the beach. Sheesh. That's dark. For sure, never do that. Bueno, I feel like people will do anything for content these days, and sometimes YouTubers do some really dumb shit for content. But here we are talking about him, so all press is good press, I guess. At least we got some vocabulary out of this situation. Next headline. And I can't believe this next one is true, by the way. It says, KFC introduces fried chicken-flavored toothpaste, and it's selling out. ¿A qué estamos llegando? Bueno, right off the bat, we have another compound adjective, fried chicken-flavored. I feel like that particular compound adjective shouldn't exist for moral reasons, but here we are. Let's read on. Fried chicken isn't just a food anymore, it's also a paste. KFC recently introduced a fried chicken-flavored toothpaste. The flavors are inspired by all of KFC's 11 herbs and spices, according to a news release. Like biting into a hot, juicy piece of KFC original chicken recipe, this toothpaste is irresistible, coating your teeth in flavor before leaving your mouth feeling fresh and clean, the news release said of the Kentucky-based fast food chain's new toothpaste. KFC partnered with toothpaste manufacturer Hi Smile to unveil the newest dental hygiene product for a limited time. We love pushing boundaries, and what better way to do that than by bringing KFC's legendary flavors into an everyday essential? This collab is bold, valiente, unexpected, and seriously fun. The toothpaste, which is offered exclusively on the Hi Smile website for $13, was sold out as of Tuesday morning. The toothpaste's description on the website claims it contains a fluoride-free formula and has long-lasting oral health benefits. Tío, ya está, no hace falta esto.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
While people tienen muchas ganas, are eager to get their hands on a new tube of toothpaste will have to wait for the next supply, they can always try the new KFC electric toothbrush, which is still available for $59 on the Hi Smile website. No sé qué es más triste, that we have reached a point where we have chicken-flavored toothpaste or that it is sold out. De verdad, qué asco. The last thing I want my mouth to taste like when I brush my teeth is fried chicken, pero bueno, Americans always surprise me. Y antes que me digas que no diga American, porque todo el continente es América, there's no equivalent for estadounidense in English. But anyway, there are some good words in this particle. To coat means to cover, to provide a layer, una capa, to provide a layer of something. The sentence was, this toothpaste is irresistible, coating your teeth in flavor before leaving your mouth feeling fresh and clean. Again, I don't want my teeth to be coated in chicken flavor, but hey, that's just me. Next up, we have the verb to unveil. A veil, spelled V-E-I-L, is un velo, something that covers something. So to unveil, to uncover or reveal. In this context, it's like saying que lanzaron, mostraron, sacaron un producto, right? KFC partnered with toothpaste manufacturer to unveil the newest dental hygiene product. Then we have the phrase to push boundaries, push de empujar, boundaries as in límites. So to push boundaries means to go beyond, más allá, to go beyond what is considered normal, acceptable, or expected, often in a creative or innovative way. A ver, if I unveil a jamón serrano flavor toothpaste, también es pushing the boundaries, technically. Y aquí me salta una frase mítica de Jurassic Park que suelta el personaje de Jeff Goldblum que dice, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, si podían, whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should, si deberían."
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
All right, next headline. This is a short one, but has some great words. The headline reads, "Passenger attempts to storm cockpit over delayed takeoff." There's a video with this one that I won't play, but if you really want to see, you can find online. Flight attendants can be seen struggling to get the door closed before a woman makes an odd intervention by trying to storm the cockpit. The cockpit is where the pilots are. The middle-aged, smartly dressed passenger confronts the staff, sparking a squabble. The crew members can be heard, se les puede oír, can be heard telling the first-class passenger, "Get out, get out." As the pair continue to argue, the crew member ends up taking the woman down on the ground as she continues to protest. Another flight attendant then restrains her and escorts her back to her first-class seats. Baffled passengers watched on as the woman is ushered past them. One angry flyer is seen standing up in his seat, demanding an explanation from the woman. Now, the first word I want to talk about is in the headline. The word is storm. I know you know this word, tormenta, yes, but as a verb, and especially in a military context, to storm means to suddenly attack and capture a building or another place by means of force. To attack and capture by means of force. I don't know what verb would fit best here in Spanish. It's like irrumpir, tomar a la fuerza, invadir. Maybe asaltar would be the most appropriate. You've heard this verb be used to describe the events of January 6th in 2021 when Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in the US. Also, Operation Desert Storm in 1990, which, if you remember, was the military response to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. So, to storm. Then we have the word squabble, spelled S-Q-U-A-B-B-L-E, like squable. The sentence was, the middle-aged, smartly dressed passenger confront the staff, sparking a squabble. To spark, as we mentioned in a previous episode, is something that you use to say that it was started, no que desató un squabble. And a squabble is a small, petty argument, often over something trivial. Petty también es una buena palabra. Petty, spelled P-E-T-T-Y, means trivial or insignificant. You can also use petty to describe people. Esa persona que hace un café solo para él o para ella porque una vez tú no le ofreciste café cuando tú lo hiciste, that's petty. And we all know people like that. The next word is baffled, spelled B-A-F-F-L-E-D, baffled. The sentence was, baffled passengers watched on as the woman is ushered past them. Baffled is an adjective that means to be totally bewildered or perplexed, to be in shock at something because it's confusing or out of the ordinary. I guess we should also talk about the word usher. To usher means to show or guide someone somewhere. An usher, usado como sustantivo, un usher, is that person that shows you to your seat when you go to a show or a movie, for example. So in a verb, it describes that action. Baffled passengers watched on as the woman is ushered past them. And I guess we should also talk about the phrasal verb to watch on. What, 3 vocabulary words in one sentence. I love it. To watch on. And this is one of the reasons I love English. There are so many verbs that change a little bit when you add what we call a particle to make it a phrasal verb. Watch is the main verb and on is the particle. We all know what to watch means. But when we say to watch on, we mean to continue watching something as it happens, especially without intervening or being involved, and often with a sense of helplessness, distance, or detachment. So you watch a TV show or a movie, but if you are witnessing something, si estás presenciando algo, you are watching on. So you watch on as a building burns to the ground. Importante lo de not being involved and usually with a sense of helplessness, como que no puedes hacer nada. So one last time, ahora que conocemos todas las palabras de la frase, baffled passengers watched on as the woman is ushered past them. Nice. We did it. I know I just gave you a lot of new information, so I want to repeat what I said at the beginning. There's absolutely no pressure to memorize the words and use them today. This is more of an exercise to add a few new words to your vocabulary that might be useful, but more importantly, to help you understand the nuances, las sutilezas, the nuances we often encounter with languages. I'm sure that if you read these news stories, you would understand what you were reading, but I think it's nice to really get into why we use the words that we do, because using a language effectively has a lot to do with our word choice. So I hope this was useful, and if it wasn't, at least I hope it was entertaining. That's it for this episode of English with Dane. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't, hit that follow button on Spotify so you don't miss future episodes and to help the podcast grow and reach more people, which is my goal. If you have any feedback or just want to say something that's on your mind, leave a comment on Spotify or write to me at English with Dane on Instagram and TikTok. I'm always interested in what you have to say, and honestly, reading your messages is always the best part of my day. So to those of you who have written to me with words of encouragement or to tell me how this podcast has helped you, I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. All right, have a great week. Talk soon. Later.